Hello and welcome to this is Monday night's live stream. We are working on the chainsaw. So I have you guys in a nice little stand and hopefully we can get working here. And have myself a Diet Coke. Alright, so I'll update you guys on what has happened. Yeah, as you can see, this is the the cord for the Polestar, and it has ripped apart. So it looks almost to be a one-piece unit, which is kind of weird to me. What's going on, Bob? It's kind of weird. It looks to be a one-piece unit, but yeah, it just, I think I yanked on it too hard. Looks a little frayed, as if something in there was kind of rubbing it. So we're going to have to take the case completely off and fix that also. So that'll be kind of a fun project because I'm not sure quite how all the rest of this goes apart. But we have to take the, what's going on, Curtis? Hi, Sammy. We have to take it all apart because I broke the, what's going on, Logan? Air filter foam. See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking I could make my own. But anyways, yeah, this Polestar broke today. But all good things, right? I would rather everything that can go wrong with this goes wrong now. That way, when I'm using it in the future, I won't have to worry about stuff like this going wrong. So, yeah, what's going on, Hopsky's Lounge? So that's not the end of the world that this is broken. Just gonna take a peek here. Probably couple 3 bolts. We'll get this handle off, and then from there we will move on. Now, if you guys are not happy with the view here, let me know, because I have you set up makeshift on a candle and a thing of Gorilla Glue. There we go. That might be a little bit better view. If I get you guys just right. This might be a little better, a little shakier, but that's okay. You guys just let me know what you want and we'll get there. So, okay, first of all, I need to grab my socket set, which is hanging out over here. We're going to get to work on this bad boy. Set these on the ground. And what's the chat going on? Sounds like a plan. And what brand of chainsaw is it? Just by a herd of beavers. And then Pike Lake says if you change the bar size, you'll have to change the clutch size too. Well, it was a 14-inch bar that was on here, and I just bought another 14-inch bar. I know originally it's supposed to have a 10-inch, but I did use it in the garage and the thing ripped. So it's a pretty torquey little thing, and we'll just use it how it is. Anyways, so we gotta get this handle off. And let's see, maybe a 7/16. It's kind of a short or a small handle. Oh, I don't even know if it's 7/16. We'll have to see. Oh yeah. Good thing is, being that this was built in '77, I don't know if there's much metric stuff on here. Really. So far, everything's just been, you know, 9/16, ½ inch. It's a little bit of an older saw. So I'm just taking off the bolt holding on this side of the handle here. I've learned a little bit about these things. The couple finicky type things. That's a pretty long bolt. Is the oiler, so I gotta make sure I go and check the oiler and these little guys. What were the other things? Try a 5/16 maybe? Yeah, that'll do. The oiler is finicky on these older models. Might have to go through that, although when I was testing it, the bar did not get very warm. But yeah, had some really good comments on the other video. Also had some that, some safety sallies, of course. But yeah, the main purpose for this is, like last year deer hunting, it was so snowy that there's a lot of downed trees, and I ended up actually having to wait for my dad because there was a downed tree in the road when I was coming back from my hunt. And it was unfortunate, and so that's kind of been on my mind. You know, I'd like to have a chainsaw, but I didn't really want to fork out all the money for a new one. So I just kept my eyes open, and then my grandfather, not the one, if you guys watch Joe and Zach Survival, not that grandfather, but my other grandfather, there's the handle. They're getting rid of their cabin, and he had this up there. And so, okay, we got just a couple, 3, 1, 2, and 2? Yeah, 2, I guess, screws, and maybe this comes off. But anyways, they're getting rid of their place, their cabin, and this was up there. And that grandfather isn't much of a do-it-yourself kind of guy. He's more of a pay-for-it. So I'm thinking that this was originally used maybe to clear a couple branches. But they've had the place for 40 some odd years, 44 years or something like that. So this very well could have been bought brand new and used only a select amount of times. A lumberjack now. No, I'm far from a lumberjack. I am not a lumberjack, that's for sure. Because when it runs, you guys heard it, it actually has a lot of compression, so runs really nice. For who knows, he even told me, he's like, yeah, I haven't used that thing in a long time. It probably needs a little bit of cleanup. So there she goes. Okay. So, okay, gas tank and all wants to come with. That doesn't want to push through. Okay. So here's my recoil. And here's my gas tank. Why does the gas tank not want to come off? It's kind of in there, pretty pretty solid. So yeah, the gas tank here is in just a circle in the top. And there it is. Just a little bit of finicky. I did put a new fuel line on her today. So, see if we can get the gas tank. I think we'll be able to fish it out of there. This whole thing needs a little bit of cleanup. It's pretty, it's a little gross. But we'll get her all cleaned up. There she is. Yeah, so we'll get her all cleaned up and then she'll be running good. Right now it runs great. I got it to idle a little bit, but it doesn't want to fully accept idling. And I heard that, there she be. And I heard that could be an issue, that they all, you know, some people had problems where it didn't want to idle at all. So Sam says, nice wedding ring. Someone asked, when you go up and deer hunt, is that all land you guys own or public? That's a lot of public land up there. We do own some land, but there's a lot of public land up there. So this, once again, just like everything else, is just caked with oily sawdust. And I have a theory on why this thing is caked so full of sawdust, and I think it's because I use the blade and it's not super sharp. And knowing my grandpa, he probably never even knew how to sharpen it. So I think he used it until it was kind of dull. And then this is all just the dust and junk. Their dog must have got out. there's a Jim Bean. I heard you mention something about being a welder. I was wondering, what kind of welding do you do? Stick, TIG, MIG, thanks. And then the next one is there's a Jim Beam whiskey bottle. That's a pull and saw. I don't know what bottle you see, but and so what was that? Oh, what kind of welding I do? Right now I MIG weld at home. I know how to weld everything, right? I can TIG weld, steel, aluminum, stainless. I can MIG weld, stainless, and regular mild steel. 309, 308, stuff like that. And then at home, I stick weld. And I also flux core weld here too, just for fun. Sometimes, like my buddy Eli had some exhaust work he wanted me to do. Worked on that, so I just kind of do fun projects. I worked on the trailer. It's a good thing to know how to weld. So I'm just trying to get some of this gunky junk out of here. And then I got to get this part off, this plastic piece, which is just one screw. I do have to be careful though, because the recoil, well, she doesn't have a lot of tension on her. Yeah, we'll take it apart. Hopefully I can salvage the recoil. I can rewind them, but God, is that ever a pain in the butt. So yeah, this is just one screw. I thought, yeah, I do also. I thought you'd done well. Yeah, I do. I do weld, MIG weld for my regular income. Oh, good. The spring stayed in there. It looks beautiful. And then this here, if you've never seen the inside, this has those little plastic pieces which catch the edge of this spring, builds tension, right? And then, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. On the flywheel, I have what they call dogs, which are these little spring loads. And those dogs will catch all of this, you know. The dogs catch on this part. This part catches the spring. This part catches the dogs. Actually looks a little worn, but the Harbor Freight welder, looked like Harbor Freight welder, and then are you looking forward to duck hunting? I am looking forward to duck hunting. That's going to be really fun. And I got my stick welder is 225. My stick welder is a full power, runs off a 240 or 220, and then that one's a 110 machine, which works really, really well for doing exhaust and stuff. So this is kind of a different setup that I haven't seen before. Let me grab one of my chairs here so I can show you guys without having to bend over. Let's grab one of my rolling chairs. There you go. I did have one hater that I had to... Yeah. Howdy, I have one just like yourself and still runs great after all these years. Yeah, I'm hoping this one gives me some good service. So, this is just a little round plastic piece. And it fits into here. Kind of locks in, kind of like a bike. You know what I'm talking about? Like one of those brake mechanisms on a bike. But on this side there's a hole, but I don't want to get it in the way of those dogs. I'm just looking at this here, trying to figure out if this is all worn out or what. I like 2 notches in it, but There's no plastic chunks hanging out in here, so maybe that's just wear points or what. I mean, the pull start worked awesome. I just don't know. That looks different to me. But it doesn't really look too chowdered. It just looks kind of like it's been used. So, interesting concept there. I don't know. Looks like worn out spots if you ask me. But yeah, they're saying that this one here, this kind of model is actually like a really good model. Like when they run good, they run good. So I'm hoping I can get this puppy running well again, and then won't have to worry about it. And I know it's a small machine, but it should work well for what I want to use it for. I'll have to try to find a new little pull start. The good thing is there's a Minbach fleet just up the road, and they like specialize in all these little parts. So it's going on Waconia Prepper. So yeah, they specialize in all these little parts. And they're very knowledgeable people. Okay, so we got our flywheel here. A little bit of clutch noise, but I got to figure out this. So this here, I have no idea why or what this is. Looks like a super tiny flathead would go in that spot. Let me plug in my light. Looks like a very small flathead screwdriver could go in this spot here. Oh, oof, that was bright. So, of course, this thing's probably not gonna. See a little indent in the top there? Something going on there. I don't think it's a screwdriver. I don't know what on earth that would be. Interesting design though. So I'll have to tinker with this for a minute. Hopefully that thing doesn't fall over. Let me grab a small screwdriver and see if I can just poke this out. Maybe it's just smushed in there for all I know. Whoa. One of these ought to work. Trying to see what it could possibly be. So Sam and I are looking into buying almost like one of those sheds. We're not buying one, but building like a shed house. If you guys have seen those before, you can get like a good idea. If you go to like Home Depot, they have them there. So we're looking into those to see if that would be a good idea, but we don't have land to put it on. I kind of hinted at my dad a couple times now, but I think that he just wants to keep it kind of his area up there. He said I'm more than welcome to use the tent anytime I want, but I want my own spot. So I have no idea how on earth to get this little thing off. I feel like it was fused around the end of this. So we're going to have to resort here to oops. Have to resort here to So I don't think that would cause an issue. Okay, so yeah, that would kind of be an issue. Wait. No, it won't. Yeah, so I'm going to have to rewrap the string through this hole rather than this one right here that originally had this. Because there's no way to get that string out. I think it was a one-piece kind of deal. And my string is in the truck, so let me go grab that. Alright, so I hope I have some heavy nylon in here. Of course I don't. I did at one point have some, and I don't know where on earth it went. Okay, well we'll just move on from there. We'll figure out something else. Chainsaw, firewood, and a Barrington morning. I have a big tree down old wood. Burn the knot. Burn the knot, burn the knot, burn the knot. Confused. Burn it and smush it. Now, I could use this old string, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not. But I don't really think I have anything else. It's going to have a slightly smaller pull, but only by 2 inches. So I'm going to just cut this, I guess, and then we'll go from there. Not really what I wanted to do, but I will. Try to cut it off all nice. By the way, I would like to do a review on this Leatherman now that I've had it a while. It's a beast. Alright, so this will be fun, fishing it through. Working on this older stuff does require a bit of patience and a lot of trial and error. So let's see how to fish it through. Best way would be fish it down, but I don't really have that option. Hey Sarah. Ohio Outdoors said, is your truck still making that bottom end noise? Probably. I'm sure that's not a noise that goes away, but I do want to put some new plugs and wires because somebody mentioned how theirs had kind of the same noise. There it is. And it ended up being just kind of a light misfire. So I want to do that. Good night, Sammy. Love you. So I want to try to do that first. The warranty I have, a lot of people took it as it's a like dealership warranty, like a factory warranty. Yeah, I don't think that knot's ever going to come out. But it is an extended warranty. Yeah, or bad gas. It's an extended warranty. And normally those don't really cover something unless it goes out, right? So, being that nothing's really like, gone bad right now. I don't really know what to do other than try a couple little solutions and hope that one of them works. Maybe one of them will, I don't know. Okay, so that'll have to do for now. I did that wrong though. Should have threaded through the case. It's okay. I That is a-okay. We can just tie another nut. So nowadays vehicles are so complex that it's like hard to even know what was going on. I mean, somebody said like, oh, you shouldn't work on it yourself, you're gonna ruin that thing. And I'm like, well, I just did a couple oil changes, like how can I ruin it? That's the kind of stuff that I don't get, because it's like it's not like I went and put a new cam in it or something like that. I just changed the oil. So all right. Oh, got me in the head. Running it through the case first would have helped the first time. So there we go. So we're going to try a mix of things. You know, I'd love to say that it was bad gas, but in all the The 5.3s are known for the lift or knock, not ticks, and will sound like the bottom end. Well, that could very well be what it is. You know, I made that one video a while back where I'm like, oh yeah, she was low on oil, but not low on oil. Like the oil light didn't come on. It wasn't that low of oil. It was just a quart low. So. Dawson said that he caught the tail end of what I was talking about with the Home Depot shed. So I'll go over it. So Sam and I are looking into some small cabin type solutions. Not for up by the tent necessarily, because I've been hinting, if you will, at my dad about like, hey, maybe I could put a thing up there, but he hasn't said anything about it. So I'm gonna take that as he wants to just keep it like the tent, you know what I mean? So, and that's fine, right? I'm not there to intrude. I was just hinting and seeing if he had a spot there. But so with that being said, Sam and I are now looking at other ideas, but we essentially want an 8x12 type. And I was saying Home Depot sheds because that's what spurred it. Was we were looking at those sheds at Home Depot a while back, and it kind of spurred the conversation of like, you know, this is kind of neat. Like, I could see us, you know, having a spot in one of these, and you know, that was essentially it. And so take it as you will, whatever. But that's kind of what we're looking at. I was hoping to get a spot maybe by my dad. He didn't say no, but he didn't really say anything about it being a yes. So it just, I think, is going to have to be left where it is. Now, I don't think that this is going to work, right? There might be even more to this than I'm imagining. Where'd that little screw go? There we go. So Sam and I are going to look into other avenues. Not saying that I don't want to hunt or whatever, but you know, we want a spot where we can have a bed and stuff pre-set up, and that way you don't have to sit there and pack everything to go camping. You know, we want a spot that's already ready. We just have to show up and we can just relax. So yeah, that was not right. That was not right the way I did this. So we'll see what happens. Okay, what did I do wrong, Zeki? Well, I hope I don't have to thread the needle with tension on it, because that's really going to suck. It probably will, though. Oh, might help if I spooled it the right way. Oof. Shit. Okay, we have to be careful. Now, I have many times popped these little deals out, and it is a pain to get them in there. So, know about that. There we go. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this a third time. They never make these things easy to work on, guys, so if you feel just as bored as I do, trust me, they never do. This is all part of it. So, if I wrap her up this way, works, but it's wrong. Let me attempt something here. We wrap it up backwards and stuff it in there so when it rolls forwards. Gosh, what an idea. There she be. It's all about thinking. I think can I get that one? No, close. So, yeah, I did get that one. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just go with that. It'll be fine. Just rip it in there. I think this will work. Yeah. So we're thinking like an 8x12 with upstairs loft. Not anything huge though. Like I said, Home Depot shed. Not the barn style shed. We want just a easy pitch roof because it's easier to work on in there. And we would like, my idea is to have loft above and then under the loft, right, you could easily walk. And under the loft you could have a kitchen and then a couple chairs and a nice sitting area. And it's not perfect because the length of it isn't right, but it'll work, I believe. So we will start reassembling. Actually, with this off, since it's off, let's work on getting this carburetor worked on here. So there's two flathead screws here and then one screw there with a seal. I'm going to try to take this one screw off right in the front here. And Robert asked, how much property does this tent sit on? Maybe I could buy a piece from my dad. I've been hinting at that, and unless he doesn't really get the hint, I'm definitely getting the feeling that he probably doesn't want to do that. Because I've texted him a couple times about it and talked to him about it, and he doesn't really say like, oh, you know what, here's an idea. And he's really one of those people that would say like, here's an idea. You know, how about this? He hasn't really said much about that. So, there we go. Just a little rubber piece here. And if we look, this light readjusted. So if you look right in the hole, there's some stuff in there, and that's a filter. Right there, it's a filter, and on the bottom, there's almost what looks like cardboard. I'm gonna pick that out of there. Sarah asked, what do you want to put in the shed? I want to have a little house in the shed. Sarah, it would essentially be like a little tent, right? We'd have like a little stove and a kitchen in there, and then like a loft above we could sleep in and stuff. And the tent is fine, and he does say like, yeah, you know, go up there and use the tent. But it's one of those things where it's like, you almost want one of your own. Just because it's like, the tent is his design, and I don't know, I like different things, so just one of those things. Okay, now it might get loud here. I'm going to spray a little bit of compressed air in there, and then my air compressor is going to kick on pretty much right away and run for a couple minutes, so just be ready for that. I'll move my it takes a little bit for that air compressor to kick off. There it is. So, on the question, why don't I just use the tent instead? The reason behind having like our own place is as we get older, the tent, when we were really young, the tent was great, right? Because we were just little kids all running around. But now that we're older, we all take up more space, and everybody now is different, right? So some people like to stay up late. I know I like to stay up later because that's just how my shift and stuff always is. So I'm kind of a night owl in many ways. And my dad likes to go to bed early, and he does go in the back room, which is cool. But still, you know, everybody just has a different things going on, and it's nice to have space, okay? And I'm not saying that in the way of like I don't want to hang out and be with them, but someone asked, why don't you clean that thing before you put it back together? Well, because it's all very, very greasy, and it needs to be ran and heated up so that the grease can burn off. That is why. And I did. I cleaned out quite a bit on the inside here that was caked on. The outside will get cleaned and then the inside will, but right now I'm more worried about if it's running good, then I'll worry about if it looks good, right? It's not a collector car, it's a chainsaw. So that's kind of the reason behind it. We would still have community meals, I would still hang out there a lot and stuff like that. It's just nice at the end of the day to go back to, you know, your place. So Dawson says, why not ask your grandpa? Yeah, that's in the works too, but I don't want to go behind maybe my dad's back to get what I want, right? Obviously, I'd rather have a place by my dad than my grandpa, so just because, yeah. But we'll see, only time will tell, right? We will work on it one stage at a time. That's something I'll talk to him about in person too, because it's hard to explain to somebody your idea or your vision of something. These are not right. What did Bradley say? The tent rocks. Yes, it does. See anything else in there? No. So, yeah. I'm not trying to step on any toes. The tent does rock. But we have a different vision, right? The tent is like my dad's vision, and Sam and I have a different vision. And our vision is more like sitting on the front porch and hanging out. So, I don't know. But we'll find a spot, you know, even if it's not there. Sam and I already talked about it. Maybe we'd get a place by Mille Lacs or something like that, you know. Who knows? There's all sorts of places around, and we'll talk about it more, but Borgard says, nice recoil repair. Well, it's kind of half-assed because it's floppy as all hell, but I just need it to work to get the tuning right, and then I can dig back into it. Just beat him and go further towards Canada. There's not much more to Canada. There's really not much more to Canada, in all honesty. But I mentioned it to him, and then he's like, oh, that's a nice idea. And I said, well, if you see any property up there that's for sale, let me know, because, you know, they don't advertise online because it's such a small area up there that really nobody advertises, you know. Not with the internet, at least. Like, I wish they would, but they really don't. And so then he's like, okay, well, we're looking all the time, so You know, so we'll keep an eye open. So he does know that I'm looking for some sort of property. We're not asking for 50 acres. We'd be happy with 1 acre. And ultimately, we kind of were talking. We're like, well, we should just go and kind of look at some land, maybe on a map. And if we like it, just go and talk to the owner and just say, hey, how much would it cost for us to rent this spot out, and build that relationship too, because that's easy enough, right? If somebody has hundreds of acres and they're not using this little chunk, they might be willing to say, hey, yeah, let's rent you out a little bit of space. So there's that. Do you want it to be on a lake? Well, we would prefer it would be on a lake, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers right now. But if we could get the okay from someone somewhere, we would definitely. What about one of the sites around the lake when your dad said he was around that lake? That a long, long time ago, that lake was like some sort of touristy type attraction, which now it is. No one ever goes to that lake. But regardless, it was some sort of tourist attraction type thing. And there's no public type land for sale up there. Have your dad help you build? Well, I wanted to have him help me build it because I've said this many times before, I'm not very good with woodwork. Not very good at all with woodwork. I can do simple stuff, but when it comes to something like building a tiny house, I have a hard time, I'm not going to say visioning, but just knowing how to build something, right? In that way. Because for him, he'll be like, oh yeah, you want to put your studs are at 16 inches center to center and this, that, and the other thing. And I've seen him, I've worked with him before, right? I've seen him build a 2-car garage start to finish, shingles and all, in less than a day. So he's very efficient, and he can, he's almost like an engineer in a way. Like, he can look at it and he can get your vision, and then he can say, just from experience, like, well, you probably wouldn't want to do this, So it's, I might be like, oh, I want, a 512 roof, and he might be like, well, up here it snows a lot, so you're going to want a bigger pitch, like an 812 roof or something, He just knows things that not everybody else thinks about or knows about or whatever. And that's why I want his help. He's a great woodworker and building things. Yeah, he's very smart. I can vision projects with welding and stuff like that, but I don't know. You'd think that they would coincide, welding and woodwork, just because you have to think about it. But honestly, woodwork to me is like, oh, nope, no, thank you. That's why I don't work with my dad. It's because I knew a long time ago that I am no good with working with any sort of lumber. I can do simple stuff, but if he looked at it, he would be sitting there going, well, that's not flush, and that's not how that's supposed to be, and yeah. He's definitely got the knack for it, and I really don't. Oh, my hands are all greasy right now. Okay, we got the handle back on there. Now our next project here is to examine the oiler, and I think quite possibly there's this little port down here, and I haven't looked up any sort of manuals or anything, but I'm almost... Okay, that's just a chunk of something. So I need to figure out the oiler. Oh, here it is. They say that the oilers tend to get gunked up. And if I just bought a new bar, that's the last thing I want. I don't really know how you test an oiler, though. They said it's pressurized, but it's obviously not going to squirt out if I pressurize it. It's just going to weep out. And when I was testing it before, it didn't seem to have any sort of issues at all with that. So as far as, you know, the bar wasn't super oily, but it wasn't sparking because it was dry either. So one thing I could do, or I'm gonna do, this is something you can do with your other motors too. Take one of these little wires, pull it out. I've used this Leatherman so many times and I was unsure if I should get it or not when I did. I'm so happy I did because, ooh, I just took out a bunch. Bar and chain need to be on, okay. Now, once I put the bar and chain on there, how do I know after that if it works? I mean, will I be able to see it? Should sling oil on the floor if it is working. Okay, well, we'll have to give it a try. I just ran this through. I can see that there's oil on it. So that's a good sign, right? All right, so that is good. I'm going to leave this top cover off. That way I can see the carburetor. We got a chunk of stuff. Okay, we got a chunk of stuff out of the little filter on the front here. So possibly running it wide open, it was sucking fuel in, and then when you stop, that little flap would get in the way. We can dissect it further if we need to, and see. Now it also might just need a little bit of tune type work. Like I said, I don't know how hard it was ran or whatever before I got it. But if you guys watched the previous video I made, I did go and get a new bar. The old bar will be a great backup. But the bottom is kind of worn, if you will, and there's a nice burr developed. So I am going to run a file on here, and I'll tighten it up just a titch because she's a little wide. But it's the same 14-inch bar, which is big for this thing. It originally, I believe, came with a 10-inch bar. It's just a small limbing saw, but I figured, you know what, it had a 14-inch on it, and I haven't seen a tip like this either. Look at this. Obviously, they don't sell them like this anymore, but weird curve to it. Still works just fine. Regardless, though, we're going to run a normal one on here. Hopefully it works. So, get this package opened up. You know, they really do know how to make things child-proof nowadays. They're adult-proof, man. So I am going to do a video on the Leatherman here, like I've been saying a couple times now. This Leatherman has seriously worked awesome. It comes with a 20-year warranty. Expensive tool, but honestly one of the best tools to have if you are fishing. I've used it fishing. I've used it camping a lot. It's really a good go-to camping tool. Stuff like this, opening packages. So I bought it and I was kind of unsure about it. And after having it and feeling the quality of it, and when you carry it, people don't expect you to carry it, right? And actually, kind of my preferred way of carrying it now is in my back pocket. Weird enough. I enjoy carrying it in my back pocket. So carry it with a little pocket clip. I tried to belt one for about 3 weeks, and I had enough of that. I'm like, well, no, didn't much care for it. So went to the pocket clip. Front carry works great. Back pocket carry is the best, especially if you wear cargo shorts, because it's almost like you're wearing like a wallet in your back pocket, so you don't even notice it. Okay, there's something. Okay, so we're putting the blade on. I did line these up as best as I could at the store just to make sure that they fit and all. Seem to be okay. I'm gonna have to separate the two. So looks like the pin and the oiler line up real good, which is what we want. And wrap this around like so. And we'll have to tighten the hell out of it because that's just how she rolls. There we go. Now someone did say if you're running a different bar, you need to get a different clutch or something like that. Zachary Adrian says, as being a guy in the trades, what do you think of someone trying to get into an electrical apprenticeship? I think that trades are where the money's at. Because all too many times these people, especially right now in my life, everybody that went to school for a 4 or 6 year degree is at the point, I hope I didn't lose something, where they're finishing that degree. And a few of them got jobs, a few of them did not, right? I think I messed this up. A few of them got jobs, a lot of them didn't. And so, with that being said, trades is where it's at, because I read a study on a doctor versus the United States postal worker. Not postal worker, sorry. A package delivery guy, a UPS guy. And the doctor went to school, got his degree, and worked to pay off that degree. Well, the doctor didn't have any money, or didn't even break even to the postal workers' amount of money until he hit the age of, 45 years of age. And then they broke even and the doctor started making more money. My blade's really loose, but I'm just doing this. So, I don't know if this chain's gonna work. Oh, what do we have going on here? Oh, that explains a lot. My little finger fell out. Okay. So with that being said, okay, you gotta think of the life, okay? A doctor, he went to school all these years, school. And, okay. He went to school for all these years, lost out on all those life experiences, right? Meanwhile, UPS guy, he's living his life, okay? Now, what is school worth to you? Now, a doctor becomes doctor, and he gets his job, but his job is an extremely stressful job. He has extremely long shifts. Yeah, oh yeah, he makes so much good money. But you know what? What's money if you're constantly stressed out? People are dying. What's going on, Justin? People are dying on your table every day. Now, I'm using an example. I mean, there's many doctors out there, right? But this is like an ER doctor, right? I'm talking money. So, meanwhile, Buddy Van Doodle that works for UPS drives his truck every day. He got a house when he was probably before he was 25. You know, he's living life large, right? He's making good money. In fact, if he's driving a truck, like a day truck driver, those guys can make $100,000 a year. So, yes, does somebody that gets a big fancy degree eventually make more money? Yeah, wouldn't be sitting here working on a chainsaw in their garage, having a fun night, talking to people. No, they'd be studying right now. They'd still be going to school right now. Electricians can easily make $100,000 a year, and that is known. Electricians make money. Really simple to start up your own investment, your own company. You get a van, put whatever you need. I mean, I'm not an electrician, right? And so I can't tell you what you need, right? but easy to start up and let's say go on your own, break off and go on your own. You know, a doctor, yeah, they can start their own practice, but man, the insurance and the liability and the headache, nah, I would never ever, I don't think I would ever want to be anything other than what I am. Because as a welder, don't have to watch my language, don't have to dress in fancy expensive clothes, don't have to stress about people dying. I just go there, I weld, I come home. A welder, I could easily put advertisements up and get people in here and work on their exhaust or little tiddly projects and make a little extra money on the side, which I don't because I really don't care, but regardless, could easily, you know, if I want to, make more money, especially if I had my own rig. But that's a whole other deal. I hope I didn't over tighten this chain. It feels kind of tight, but I know, you know, I'm hoping it should stretch right away. But, you know, I probably got a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of play. So yeah, I would say go for an electrician. Don't get another degree. Looks too tight. We'll see. It is a little tight. I don't want to loosen her up a bit. There we go. Just like a 1/4 turn. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. All right. No spiel on that. So, yeah, it'll stretch. All right. So, I think we got everything figured out. Let's give this a go and try to start her up here. I'll scoot you guys over a little more, and I'll start it up right over here by this gas tank. I'm gonna wear some earplugs though. Wear some earplugs. They actually match just out of coincidence. Hopefully everything, the pull chain and stuff works well. It might take a couple pulls because we did fart around with that gas tank. Yeah, we got gas in there. I know there's a little bit of oil in there, so we'll give her a go. I'm going to have to manually choke this, so it's going to take a couple pulls, but we'll see. Maybe it'll idle this time, maybe it won't. We'll find out. That's a great way to break a new chain, eh? Okay. Try it, no choke. A little bit of choke. A little more. It's hard because I don't have the choke thing on here. Put a little more fuel in it just to make sure. I'm the only one that hates these new fuel tanks. All they do is make a mess. Alright. Big mess. Alright. try again. We'll try full choke. Okay. We'll try half choke. Maybe a little more. A little less. Well, she wants to. Come on. Small's almost flooded, so open it up. Interesting. Got fuel. Mine's up, mine's not pinched. Really only wants to start on choke. There she went. Try it one more time. Yeah. Half choke. Maybe she's a little flooded now. Okay. A little gas. See, that's where I'm having my issues. Come on. Come on, sweet man. Half choke again. Interesting. Got a little bit out of it. Oh, my back hurts now. Oh. Let's look at her here. So we got to run a little bit. Didn't want to idle though. Not sure about the pull cord. Yeah, me neither. Okay. Watch your minutes for a while and dry. Okay. Caught back up on the thing. Okay, so she kind of wanted to, kind of didn't want to. I'd say she really didn't want to. Smells a little flooded. Having issues with the idle. I haven't messed with any sort of carb needles or anything like that. I wasn't squeezing the throttle the whole time, just when it coming by. Just when it started on choke, and then it started on half choke, and then didn't want to start with no choke. So maybe I will start by checking the spark plug again. Ooh, I have to take off the side cover. No, I don't have to. That's right. We'll check the spark. I mean, the spark plug definitely was a little gunked up yesterday. Possibly from running it or not running it. It could be gunked up again, but I think I was getting good spark. Tight squeeze to get the spark plug out. But it had decent, okay spark yesterday. It's hard to say because it's like, how much spark does this old thing have? I don't know, right? It's from 1977. I mean, how much spark did things have back then? I don't know. What did it look like? Oh, okay, that little boot is in there like it did. I mean, maybe I should look down here and make sure that nothing got flushed in there, I guess. it's bright. So I'm looking down there. She looks pretty clean. Like really clean. So hard to say what's really going on here. I didn't put that much gas in her, so maybe I replaced the fuel line, so I kind of want to make sure that's in there, which it is. It's good and in there. So let me pull it a few more times. I'm sure something in there is still bunked up. It's just hard to say. I'm gonna have my hear that? Did I clean out the jets and the carb? No, I cleaned out the filter. Fuel screw, yeah. I cleaned out the little filter. I haven't got into it yet. I'm trying to get a baseline on how it's running, and so I'm trying to see if how it's set, it'll idle on its own. And then from there, work on the rest of it, because it might be running perfect, but just have a little bit of a clogged needle or something. But I have to get it started and run a little bit of fuel through it before we get there, because it might clean itself out and might not have to worry about it. Make sure I got that right down here, should do. This is full choke. Really nothing. Try half choke. Okay. Just for fun, let's try to get just a couple drops to drop in there. Just a little bit in there. Alright, try that. Yep, there it is. Turn it on. Okay. Turning it on might help. Ooh. Hurts. Just one more time because it's on now. A little bit of fuel. Man, I can't believe it doesn't even want to pop over right now. I'm gonna have to check the spark. Okay, yeah. Let's check the spark. Whew. Wasn't sweating until now. Okay. All right. Let's check the spark. Everybody's like, why? See, isn't it weird? That's why I didn't open it up, because it was running better before I cleaned it out. Everything smells like gas. I spilt it on the floor. Otherwise, I would totally be there. Alrighty, let's get this plug off. And started just a little bit, but not that one. It's a 3/4 inch. Oh, that's not in there. All right, Mr. 3/4 inch, where do you hide on this bench? There was never a chain brake on it. There's just this little shield. Just this little shield that was up here on the handle. And I will put that back on there, but the only way I can access this plastic panel that goes over here, well, I think it's actually steel, but regardless, the only way I can access it is with it off. All right, where did that socket go? Oh, really? Must have fallen off of here. I had a 3/4 inch socket somewhere. No, I don't. 1/2 inch. This is a 7/16. 11/16. 13/16. Really? 5/8. Really? Alright, we're going on a manhunt here for Mr. 3/4 inch socket that disappeared. Where on earth did that thing go? Really? No. Oh, man. Don't you love when that happens? What the heck? I had it yesterday and I took it off and I put it back on yesterday and now she's gone. Nothing there. What on earth did it go? I didn't use it anywhere else other than right here. Interesting. Ooh, I did turn on the I did turn on the air compressor, so maybe it's hiding back here. Not back here. Wow, weird. Weird case of events. 3/4 inch is gone. Okay, well, I have no idea. Stuff fell off bench, you said. I hope you didn't lose anything. No, there was not a wrench in the case. And I even thought about buying a wrench, but then I went, no, I don't want to buy one until I know that the beast is alive. I guess we're going to have to resort to maybe doing 100 millimeters. Nope. Damn, what the hell? I can get one that just fits it remotely close. Weird. There's not much to my bench. That's why I'm like, what? I'll show you the bench that I'm using right now. This is it. It's a little piece of wood. Ta-da. But this is free. Check your pocket. No, it's not in my pocket. Okay, well, what in the heck? Don't you love it? Alright, so we're just going to go through this all again because I'm feeling like I'm missing it. Aha! I will show you where it hides. I'll show you. That way you guys know I'm not crazy, okay? Here's my bench. This cover here with the choke. Sitting perfectly on the ground, but underneath it. It's my 3/4 inch. Sons of bitches. Alright. Now we can get back to work. I knew I had it. I either had it or it was thrown out, but I had it. Okay, let's check out this plug. I burned it off okay yesterday, but we'll investigate today. You never know. I've had plugs foul pretty much right away. But I tell you what, guys, I had someone comment that I was being extremely dangerous by starting my propane torch with a flint strike. Yeah, she's goopy as all hell. And then letting it run for like 3 seconds. Look at how goopy she is. I had a hater. They commented and they said, that thing would have blew up in your face. You should never do that. You shouldn't be allowed to handle stuff like that. Then I commented, haters gonna hate. And then they said, well, with your mental age. Come on, yo. Alright, let's burn this plug out. I'm not afraid. Okay. We'll burn it off again, I don't care. Yee! Look at that! I'm going to burn it off better because I felt like yesterday I didn't burn it off quite perfectly. Make sure I get it red hot. Oh yeah. Oh. Have any starting fluid. See? Man, people just can't handle the truth. They said that I should not be allowed. They said I should not be allowed to use any sort of machinery, and I shouldn't be allowed near any flammable gases. Because at my mental age, I'm a dangerous person. Something along those lines. Well, guess what? I don't give a damn. People always act like they're the police on these things. Alright. Now I will tell you this. This is the dangerous part. Because these plugs take forever to cool off. And I'm way too impatient for that. But I will give it a minute here. Give it a minute because there's probably a lot of built up fuel in there. But yeah, you guys won't believe it. I think that most of the haters from the Joe and Zach Survival channel have drifted over to this channel because I get a lot of hate comments. And a lot of them are from people don't like my videos because they're unedited, they can be unorganized, stuff like that. But I think that that's what's great about it. I think that's what's great about this channel because a lot of people, you know, I can edit a video for Joe and Zach Survival. Yeah, that's great, but I don't want to do that every day. This is my real life. See? That's what I'm saying, you know, it's certain, yeah, I'm not going to get 1 million views on here. I don't vlog, I don't do anything important, but I'm going to see if this thing has spark. Oh, yeah, she's sparking. You might as well call this puppy Sparky because she's good. Alright. Turn it off now. get out of there. All right. So yeah, this is the only part that does get me kind of worried is when I stick a hot plug into the side of the case. I normally try to be careful because if she pops, it'd be a freaking scary ride. Now it is off, but I just worry about that little bit of fuel that's in the chamber, you know, that could ignite at any moment. People don't think I'm safe, but I tell you what, I'm reasonably safe. I wear earplugs, that's kind of a safety. Guess I should be wearing eye protection too, but trust me, I won't change. I don't care about any of them people. All right. All right, so maybe I'm just ramming it in there wrong. It's so hot. Bubble wrap. Yes. Okay, I think we're threading in there fine, so we are going to put this, put the dealio on it. Yeah, there we go. All right, I bet this thing will fire right up. Snug. Tell you what, that spark plug was in there very tight last time I took it off. Extremely tight. Okay. Try number 3. We'll try this again. Hopefully it was just a little bit of a fouled plug. She has good spark now, so let's give her a rip and see if we can get her to go. We'll try. We got it on this time. I'll try a full choke. Half a choke. No choke. Okay, check this out. Show you the light here. Look at the chain. Can you see the glaze on the chain? I know I can see the glaze on the chain. So let's just, I'm going to run a little more fuel through and see if I can push any debris out. Start on the floor. Just like that. Alright, well I tried to cut something for you guys, but it ripped through pretty good. But it's kind of a... leave that there. Alright. Alright. Pull the tip of the saw close to the concrete and see if it's oily. No, I don't see any oil on the floor. Okay, so So we got it back to running condition. Probably really, really tested my luck with my neighbors tonight. I don't give a damn. So yeah, okay. What needs to be done here? So we have 2 screws. This is where I need your guys' help. So we got 2 screws here. I can get you all situated here. Got 2 screws. We got, wherever you guys are, we got one on the top and one on the bottom. Bottom one has a blue spring. Top one is just a regular spring. What do you guys think? Which one should I adjust? It does, when I give her the goose, fuel tends to spray out of here just a little bit. So with that being said, it would have seemed to be too rich because I have to start it with the throttle wide open and fuel's coming out. So what one would it be? I don't know. Top or bottom, I do not know. So I'm hoping someone would know before I just start adjusting them wild and crazy like. I don't know if it's able to idle. I mean, it does idle down. The one with the spring, well, they both have springs. Top and bottom both has springs. So you're gonna have to. One's blue, one's just a regular color. What would blue mean? Fuel? I don't know. Hoping that someone can give me a little advice. Okay, well, one with the spring. They both have springs. You turn, you learn. Okay, well, I'm going to imagine turning them out is going to lean it out. So I'm going to start by turning the blue one. We'll just do one turn. Blue one turn. And now we're going back to it. Oh. Turn in to lean out. Well, that's good because turn one all the way to the right and count your revolutions. Okay. So we're going to turn it now back and then in. We can go in one turn on the blue one. Maybe a little better. Let's try another half turn. So that's, that's all she has on the blue one, is just one turn in. That sounded better though. So now let's turn the top one in, one turn. Ooh, it wants to. Okay. Ouch. Okay, it doesn't like that. We'll turn it out a half turn. Doesn't like that either. So let's keep it normal. Okay. Oh, it wants to idle so bad. wants to. So we got the front. Okay. Turn it out just a little more. So close. Okay. For fun. Okay, we did another quarter turn more on the top screw. Okay, it's getting closer. Another quarter. Okay, so holding it wide open throttle does not want to start. No throttle wants to start. Bottom jet, half turn out. Do another half out. Okay. This a rip. Wants to. Adjusted the idle a little higher. Just another quarter turn. I need it to start in idle, not. Son of a bitch. Closer. So much closer. So, yeah. That's a good idea for steel logs, is don't mess with it anymore until you put the air filter cover on. Very true. It's getting hazy in here. See you later, Scott. yeah, so that is essentially that. Had a fouled plug. But I just need something that'll help if I get stranded on the road or whatever. Now that chain though, the oiler, it says it works off of pressure, and it should stretch a little bit. Are your neighbors assholes? These ones here are gangbangers, so the last thing they want is the cops. The ones over here never say anything, so the ones over here, the guy works nights, so maybe he understands. But we'll let her be. Yeah, so I need to get a new air filter for it. And the air filter sits right in the front here. And I'll put that, and then I can run it and see. On it somewhere, there should be an oil adjustment screw. Okay. Well, I didn't see that. They are gangbangers. Sell drugs all day. Ooh, this is hazy. It's got the oil here. They said it's a pressurized system. And then on this side, there is that little cover, and above that are like two little slots. And the front one is, I believe, where the oil would come out of. Yeah, see, that stretched straight out. That's good. Sometimes there's an oiler. Well, we will find it. But the best way for me to keep going on these projects is just to best way for me to keep going on these projects is just to do like a little bit at a time, because I ran it. Well, everybody was saying though that I had to put the bar on for the oiler, but let me maybe dig into her for a minute here so you can see. So yeah, hour and 40 minutes, huh? Look on the bottom of the saw. Okay. I mean, I'm down to try anything, guys. You guys would know more about this than I do. So here's the bottom. Got the handle. It's just a case screw. And the two right there. Let me crank this bar off of here quick. Since I have everybody's attention. There we go. This is why I think streams are so valuable, is because you get so many people that know, like, I don't know a lot about a chainsaw. I can, you know, figure out stuff about, like, carburetors and stuff, but I don't know nothing about a chainsaw. Alright. So there's that. This is what's cool. Look at this. Steel covers. That is so cool. Okay. Oh, alright. So look at here. There's a bunch of oil right there. So, what does that mean? Okay, let me take this bar off and we'll investigate, huh? It's like really hard to do one-handed. Alright, there we go. Okay, so the bar is off. Just have to work around the chain. Okay. So there's that. The bar is wet, but possibly the chain looks dry. But that right there behind the chain right there looks to be the oiler to me. I got this chain. Let me, ooh, that is hot. Gosh. Let me attempt this off of here. I'm hot for sister. What the hell? Alright. Work with me here, Mr. Chain. Alright, that'll do. Okay, so that has to be the oiler. And I don't see any sort of an adjustment next to it. What I can do is I can take a chunk of this wire, try to run it up in there, like I did. To make sure that there's no clumps of junk getting in there. This is not an oiler, it's just this one. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of this jet. So, if it's coming out of there and it's making its way to here, then it should be, okay, I see, yeah. This is a little different on this one than this one, because on this one here, the oil came out the top and into that. And that's not a, through hole, so I could see how that one would get plugged. This one here, it's see-through. You can see the light going through it right there. So the oil definitely was getting on the chain, or eventually would make its way to the chain, because it was on the top already seeping down. It's weird to me though that the oiler is on the top, because you would have to like run the whole length down. But then again, I don't know if there's all that much oil in there. I don't think there is. So we will we'll just leave it there. How about that? We'll leave this thing there. I'll work on getting a filter for the top. And we'll button her back together. I'll keep working on it during the day or whatever, and see if I can get it to idle better. Was idling, not perfect, but it was idling. And I have a feeling that I just have to go out and use it a little bit and run some fuel through it, because inside of this butterfly here, I mean, I know that this isn't exactly like a sign, but if you look in there, it's like super clean in there. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. Just running a couple tanks of fuel through her would be more than enough. So one of these days I'll have to run to my dad's and just cut some wood, or I got some wood out there. I could just cut some wood and give her a rip. Because as I was using it, there was chunks of that oily garbage that was all compacted in here. You know, as it burns off, it's flinging out. So I think it needs to get real nice and cooking, and then it'll probably run really nice. Because it seems like the more I run it, the better it's running, and that's good. So overall, though, it's a good little freeze saw, and I think it'll work well. It'll get me out of a pinch if I need it, so that's the main thing. But I'm going to let this live stream go. An hour and 45 minutes is a long time, so I'm going to let her go. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.